Hey guys, Josh King here. I just want to do a quick update video for Untap since they have changed some of their interface, and so it bothers me that it's different now. I'm going to do another quick tutorial on how to use Untap using Warlord CCG, since that's where I'm directing this at the moment. Basically, you go to untap.in. You create a deck first, of course. You have to have a deck in order to play. When you do create deck, it's going to have you choose your game. So you'll give it a name. You'll select Warlord, and you'll say create deck. Now you are able to do a couple of things here. You can either build your entire deck in here. So say I want to build a trench deck, right? I can drag the cards over to be something that starts in play. I can click on the card, say add to play. I can click on the card, I can say add to deck to put it in my deck. I can also, from this right hand side here, paste a deck, which will allow you to paste a deck from text. So if you've typed out in like notes or something your deck list, you can paste your deck, and then play is where you'll put your starting army. In this game, nothing really starts in a sideboard, hand, tokens, discard, etc. But you will want to put your starting army in the play area and your deck in the deck area. For example, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. I already have my trusty trench deck in here. And as you can see, it tells you the number of cards you have in your deck. This is the number of unique cards here. It tells you your cards starting in play and your cards in your deck. So I have a 50 card deck here with trench, some dudes, and then some good stuff. If I want to come in here and change values, it's just a plus minus interface. There's not a lot to it. So once you've come in here and built your deck, you'll want to go to the games page, and this is how you actually start a game. So if you want to do a new game for Warlord, you can come in here, you can say new game, and I pay for the $5 a month Patreon for it, just because it gives you unlimited decks. That's the only drawback to Untap, is that if you don't want to pay for it, the deck space is limited to 10 decks, which is why the importing decks is important, because you can keep them all in like Google Keep or Notes or a Word document or a spreadsheet or something on your computer, and then just paste them in as you need them or as you want to play people, and then just kind of keep the like 9 or 10 decks or whatever that you're currently actively using. It has you put on a game title, so you have to put something in there. The playstyle doesn't really matter. It's just so that you can tell people what kind of game you're playing if you're throwing a game out there. So there's this 57 mean, or 56 means there's 56 people playing Magic Online right now. That means that there's a lot of people throwing out games because they want to play, but they want to express that it's either a competitive game, optimized, relaxed, beginner, etc. For Warlord, this doesn't matter a lot because there's not a lot of games going on. There's very frequently a game on, but it's not often that it really is going to matter. So then you have your number of players, which is defaults to 2 and will essentially always be 2. Since it's just me showing you guys what to do, I'm going to go ahead and do solo. And then if you have Patreon, you can allow or disallow spectators, add a game password, that sort of thing. So if you start the game, enter the game, it'll have you select a deck. So we're going to, again, use the trusty trench deck. And the interface is fairly simple. It's just a drag. That allows you to move your cards around. And then if you double click on the card, it will spin it. If you click on the card and do the 180 degree, it'll stun it. For wounds, most people usually use counters. So you'll say add counter, and you can add more than one kind of counter. I think you can have up to 3. Yeah, it'll let you have up to 3 counters running at once. For wounds, a lot of people will do negative, even though that it's not really correct, doesn't make sense. It's just easier for you to know that that is a wound, as opposed to you have 1 wound, as opposed to, you know, someone might add a 1 for they have 1 charge. So if they have 1 charge, 1 wound, it's hard to tell the difference. So frequently people will use negative counters for that. Other things to mention, if voice isn't working well, if you're not using voice, most of us will use like Discord or something for voice. There is voice functionality in Untap. No one ever uses it. But if you need to target something, you can say target source and then click on something else. So like if you're attacking, sorry, that was the same one twice. But say this bastion wants to, well, it's a bad example because it's cloned. But if this bastion wants to attack this other bastion, I can target source, go there, and it will do the arrow. Then say, for instance, the other thing you can do is you can tap it, say you're going to attack, you can click it, and you can say shake, and that will let your opponent know, hey, you know, this is the thing I want to target. You'll see there are also hotkeys. So the O hotkey is the target source. So if you hover over something and hit O on your keyboard and then target it, it will target it. And then H is your shake. There's not any, it's not smart enough to know what exactly the cards are doing, but so you're basically just grabbing them, drawing them, playing them, putting them in play to do stuff, and going from there. To draw cards, if you click on your deck, you can say to draw a number. So the default hand size for this is 5, and so it knows automatically you can draw 5. The other option for drawing, C on your keyboard is draw, so you can hit C to draw cards as well. Now, if you messed up, you need to drag them back. You can drag things to the top of your deck, and they will go onto the top of your deck in that order. If you need to shuffle your deck because you just did something like that, you can click on it and say shuffle, or you have a hotkey of V that will also shuffle. The hotkeys can be found here, this hotkeys icon. It'll tell you all the different hotkeys. You will also need to know how to roll. So if you click the die, then D20, of course, is your D20. Excuse me. And then the other things you'll often do are peep. So like if you have Tornius car and you need to look at the top 5, if you peep 5, it will show you and only you the top 5 cards of the deck. You can grab the one you want, rearrange, do what you need to do. Same for extensions. There's also, if you click on it, a send to bottom, deck bottom. So like if you're using extensions or some sort of ability that's like, look at the top 5 cards and then put the rest of the bottom, then you're good there. For if something dies, you can either drag it to the discard pile, or if you hover over it and hit D on your keyboard, it sends it straight to the discard pile. For playing actions, of course, you just reveal it from your hand. You say you're going to play it, and then you discard it. Everything else is rare to use. So If you need to reveal the top card of your deck, it's flip top. Any sort of interaction that will reveal it to both people. Any sort of interaction with your deck or doing things to your deck is all going to be housed in this menu. The same is true for like if you need to do something with this card, like send it to the top or bottom of your deck, anything like that, you click on the cards themselves. But other than that, that's about it. The process is pretty simple. You just play until you win. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, or feel free to reach out in the Discord. If you're on the Warlord Discord, I will link that below, and the Warlord Facebook group as well. And anyone's happy to help.